Hello, everybody. Welcome to, actually, just welcome to Facebook Live. My name is Chris Marcel, and my company is a health and wellness, but we also talk about helping others in business and things that can keep us from achieving our life goals and happiness and things like that. And today I wanted to bring on a good friend of mine that we've actually met through the Passion Test for Business. And she has actually helped me very much with money blocks. I don't know if any of you who are watching or watching on the reruns have felt that they should be having more money in their life, or maybe not even deserving of the money that they think they should have, or having any challenges with money. And my own personal story is that money was really something that I probably didn't, deep down inside, didn't think that it was meant for me until I started talking with Elizabeth. And I want to call you Dr. Elizabeth for some reason. I started talking with Elizabeth and sharing some of her, and she shared with me, and we worked together. Actually, it's a year ago
Yes.
this month that we worked together. You worked with me on coming up with helping me with money, and have to say that since we have worked together, this is kind of cool. Since we have worked together, I have money in the bank, and I've never had money, and I'll be 66. I've never had money in the bank this long. So I think this is kind of it's a very cool awakening. So welcome, Elizabeth. And Elizabeth, just let everybody know just a little bit about who you are and where you come from, okay?
Oh, good morning, Chris. Actually, it's noontime where you are. I, I'm Elizabeth Bone, and my company is Elizabeth Bone Coaching. And I come from a background of education. I was an early childhood educator. I was also a teacher for school-age children with mild to moderate special needs. And when I retired from that, I enrolled in a coaching program. And it was a really fun coaching program. I really loved what I was learning. And I had a couple of clients who were very stuck around money. And the processes that I was learning to do wasn't at all helpful to them. And I was really looking for a way to help them. And I discovered this program called Tapping into Wealth. And the processes that I learned to do really shifted things for them. And it's really become my passion to help people uncover and clear their hidden blocks to money. And pretty much we all have them unless we grew up in a very wealthy family.
Oh, that's funny. So you're saying that everybody has a block with money.
Yes.
Okay. And how long ago did you start doing this?
The, uh, 5 years ago,
Cool,
in
cool.
2000, it was 2015. And I finished the program in February of 2016.
And so basically what you were drawn to it because you've noticed that other people were having issues with money.
Yes, and my own issues with money were there were times when money just flowed into my life and it was pretty easy. And then there were times when money was really a struggle. And I found that it I could earn money, but I couldn't keep it.
That's yeah.
And
Mhm.
and and one of the things that I learned about myself was that in my family, money was a source of great conflict. So in my birth family, the family that I grew up in, money was a source of bitter conflict. And so I had it made me uneasy, and subconsciously, not consciously.
Yeah, subconsciously. It's interesting because subconsciously it made you uneasy, and I could, because I can under working with you. okay, last year, and we spent a couple months working together. You work
Yeah.
with me, not even realizing some of these things that are deep rooted in our subconscious. That,
Yes.
like I can make money, I can help you make money, and I can get rid of it as fast as I made it. It seemed to leave
Yeah.
as fast as I made it. So, go on. It's just it's to me, I find it very fascinating that something so simple, really, it's not simple, but it is when you start doing that, it works. I have to say I'm living proof. I am actually living proof of working with you.
Yeah.
As I said, I have more money in the bank than I've ever had, and it's not a lot. It's a lot to me, but it might
Yeah.
not be a lot to somebody else. But the fact that I still have money in the bank, and I'm not looking like minus 200 or something like that. So,
Yeah.
so how did you? So you basically, I guess there's something else that I remember John Bradshaw. He talks about the teacher teaches what they need to learn the most. You
Yes.
know, and so it was something that you noticed in your life,
Yes.
and that's got you thinking about how you can help others, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how was it that what was your research? How did you find that, what you found?
How did I find what I found? Well, Chris, I did not do a lot of research.
Okay.
I, I, I actually, I prayed about it, and I noticed that I had gotten an email for a program by a woman named Margaret Lynch, and she was doing a launch. So I watched her launch, I watched her videos, and I just felt like this was the program that would help the two people I was working with. And I said to the universe, I really need to do this, but I'm not going to borrow the money. You have to send it to me. And what happened was, two days later, I went to my mailbox and I opened it up, and there was a packet, and it was from my tax person. She had told me that I would get a refund, and she said, well, it won't be much. So I opened it up, and to my amazement, it was 4 times what she had told me it would be. So it was more than enough to pay for the coaching program. So I immediately enrolled in the coaching program and just moved on from there and doing the processes, learning them, and working with with these two people. And actually, Chris, is really interesting because I invested a lot of money in my coaching programs,
Mhm.
and I did have debt that I had accumulated. And after I after I finished the Tapping into Wealth coaching program, I enrolled in another program that cost me $10,000.
Wow.
And because I was sure I was going to earn that money. And then I discovered that it was really hard for me to ask to be paid
Oh,
for
that's a
coaching.
that's a biggie.
I had I still had these blocks myself that I was working on, and I I got on my landlord came and talked to me. Actually, what had happened was I was feeling the burden of all this debt and the pressure. And I said to the universe, my life has to change. And I expected all kinds of wonderful things to begin to happen. But what happened was, first, I had to give up my car because the repair on it was way more than the car was worth.
I
And
just did
then,
that.
and then my landlord came and talked to me and told me that I had 60 days in which to move.
Oh,
And this was at a time, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. And this was at a time when rentals were really escalating. And I was like, wow, if I don't
Where are you
really,
going to go?
yeah, where am I going to go? And I, so I had to give up the apartment that I was in, and that was a place I really loved. And I, I had to move someplace I really didn't like, but there was this little inner voice that said to me, this is just the first step. And I had to learn some very practical things. I had to learn to manage my money better. I had to learn how I was committed to paying off my debt. Filing bankruptcy or something like that, that was not something I wanted to do. I really wanted to find a way to pay that off. So I had a very strong intention for paying off my debts and for earning money. And my intention was not just for myself, but also because I have two grown daughters. And I didn't want to leave anything for them that, if something should happen to me, I didn't want to leave anything for them to have to deal with. So I had these really strong intentions. And I felt like the universe was really guiding me, but I needed to really listen. And it was very interesting how things unfolded. I actually worked with a credit counseling company to manage my debt and pay it down. And I was doing that. And I was working on my issues around coaching people and and getting paid for it. And then I got a miracle. And someone that I had been kind to over the years had passed away and made me a beneficiary in their will. And that gift just immediately wiped out my debt and gave me money to put in the bank and just really shifted things for me. And it's one of the things that I understand now is it's a matter of what happens is your energy is changing.
So I just want to, I want to bring this up again, because again, you said an awful lot of stuff. So I guess
Yes.
one of my thoughts that come through my brain this week is and it's like speak English. I am speaking English, and we need to speak third grade level for people to understand, because
Yes.
what's coming out with me is that I take for granted that people know what I know. So I want to try and just put this into a little bit more, English, hopefully
Okay.
that I can understand, to be able to share. What I heard you say was that you started your own journey you started the course in 2015. And
Yes.
here it is. And actually by 2019 is when you had the big turnaround, when you trusted the universe. Okay, where you were able to get the gift of having the debt paid off, from the beneficiary. But you prayed.
Yes.
Okay, you didn't do a lot of research, but you prayed, and you were in touch with the universe. But you also invested. You did invest in some coaching programs,
I did. Yeah.
right? Which again, a lot of people are hesitant, me included, to invest into, how much am I going to invest in a coaching program? But it seems like you were directed to the certain program that actually made you who you are today. It was
Yeah.
being and being able to listen. So what you talked about was also strong intentions, but how did you listen. Now, there's some people out there that might not even think about listening to that inner voice. Other people, hopefully the ones that I tend to attract, do know our inner voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because attracting like-minded people, and that's been my attraction intention for the last few years. That's, attracting like-minded people. So, one question I have is how do you listen? How are you listening to that inner voice for the direction to be able, because that's not a long time. That's not a long time, 5 years, 4 years to go from losing your car, losing, having to move into a group home or whatever, share a home, and losing all this stuff to now you're back in your own place
Yeah.
and have a car and all this other stuff. So 4 years is not a long time.
No.
Some people go like me, maybe 30 years. You know what I mean? So I guess my big question to you right now is what do you do to listen? What do you do to listen to that inner voice or that direction of the universe?
I use meditation. I have been meditating for a long time. And even meditating just 20 minutes a day is very beneficial. And I've practiced asking questions and listening. And I found that the more relaxed I was, the easier it was. And I also found that it often was a little nudge, like just to have a feeling to do something, or um, a feeling in my in my gut, that paying attention to that. It was actually pretty hard for me to learn how to listen to my inner voice,
Okay.
because I can really think good thoughts. And and it was hard for me to tell the difference between what was really my thinking and what was really a genuine voice. But one of the things I found was that the voice always surprised me, and that it would come up not when I was sitting and meditating, but I might be doing something. I might be cleaning house, I might be going for a walk, but all of a sudden there would be just this little voice, and whatever it said was short and to the point. Like, and that's how I began to recognize it. And I think that for each of us, it's an individual thing. But there are different ways of developing that. One way is to do what's writing. You write your question with one hand and you use your pen with the other hand. That didn't really work for me because I am not very good at writing with my left hand.
That, believe it or not, was work I did for inner child.
Yes.
Inner child work, yeah. And you don't have to be good at writing with your you know, non-dominant hand.
Yeah, I think that's true. I just found that I was really distracted by it, because I couldn't write easily. And I
Interesting.
wasn't, that made me not trust. So what works for me is to put my question out there and know that I'm going to get an answer sometime when I'm really relaxed. And the other thing that was hard for me was waiting for an answer to come, because it doesn't always come right away. Sometimes I would get an answer right away. Sometimes I didn't. And I just had to wait. And if I didn't wait and I went ahead and made my own decision, it did not turn out very well.
Yeah, I have a few of those there too. So what's really nice is that you bring me right back to when I started my journey on my own journey of self-help, on changing my life, prayer was talking to God or the universe. Meditation is listening.
Yes.
And then you also mentioned the word trust, you
Yes.
know, and again, along with our background with the passion test, it's that intention, attention, and no tension.
Yes.
So my intention is my prayer. I'm doing attention, intention, attention, no tension is the trust action. So very, very cool the way we could bring all this stuff together. And of course, the writing. So you've could you share a story or two of, because I always find if I wonder, number one, you're a great storyteller, which I love, but
Thank
you've
you.
shared some stories of some of the people that you've helped. Um, that if you can bring to mind that, because one of my goals or intention with this interview is, of course, is to be able to let people know, maybe if you don't have the money, okay, that you that everybody else around you does, or you feel that you should have more and maybe you've given up, but you might want to reach out to Elizabeth, and be able to find out a little bit more about what you do. So you have your story, I have my story, but there's some, maybe one or two other stories of somebody else that you've helped.
Yes. Oh, thank you for asking. I worked with someone, and when we started working, she was actually very frustrated because she been had been a long time since she had been able to earn a good income, and she felt really frustrated because there were things that she really loved to do. She was a singer and a songwriter, and she had gone from the entertainment industry to be to becoming a minister.
Hmm.
And the things that she loved to do, she felt that she was blocked from doing. She wasn't earning money that way. And then she felt that she had to do things that she didn't enjoy to earn money. And it did take quite a while to uncover and clear the blocks. And a piece of that for her was doing the passion test.
Hmm.
And really getting very clear on what her unique gifts and talents were, because she does have a really unique set of talents and gifts, and I think that we each do. And being able to give those gifts, and things have begun to turn around for her. She has begun to be able to earn money doing what she loves to do. And sometimes the process takes a while. That there are a number of factors. There was one young person that I worked with. After 3 sessions, things really shifted for her.
Wow.
She was a Reiki practitioner and a yoga teacher, and she wasn't making very much money, and she felt really stuck. And we did a number of processes, and one of the things for her was looking at the downside of money.
Hmm.
Sometimes we want money, but unconsciously or subconsciously we feel that money is bad, or that people who have a lot of money, they've gotten it in ways that were not good, or they don't use money in a way that we approve of. And that was what was happening with her. And when we really looked at that she had an uncle who was very wealthy, but she really disapproved of the way he used his money.
Mm. Mhm.
And when we looked at that and then looked at what could she learn from someone who she thought of as arrogant and selfish
Mhm.
and uh, I guess a, a spendthrift in some way. And really, when she looked at how what he did with money, and she understood that one of the things is if you're selfish, you take care of yourself. You take care of your needs. If you're arrogant, you believe in yourself and you are always well paid. You were never underpaid
Hmm.
because you have faith in yourself. And when that really just shifted things for her. And she began to have a different perspective. And it was really interesting because she wanted to do a retreat. She had access to a retreat center. I believe it was in Costa Rica. And she had done a retreat there in the past, but it was really a struggle to get people. And she wanted to do this, she wanted to try it again. And it was really interesting because this time when she advertised it, she got 600 replies
Wow.
of people who really wanted to do this retreat and were ready to pay her what she asked. And she could only accommodate about 20 people.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
yeah, so that was a huge success for her. And she was like ready to take off.
And for you too, because again, this is your work. You know what I mean? Like, we get, just like when I do hypnosis, well, whenever I help somebody else, when I see their results or, be a part of it, that's a warm fuzzy inside. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's a validation of the path I'm on is correct. You know,
yes,
you know, um, you said, oh, okay. One thing I want to also go back to is, and I think this is still a block for me. Oop, I am sorry. You hear that? It's still a block for me, is asking to be paid.
yes,
Okay. So what is it? I know we work together.
yes,
I am scheduling another workshop, another clarity workshop on Thursday. And the value I know is undervalued. I'm not the value. The value is there. The price I'm asking is not enough.
right.
So how do you, why is that still going on? Is it time to go in for an overhaul? Like you go in for a tune up every 6 months?
Yes, yes, you actually can. And every time, what I have noticed is that every time you're going to a new level,
Hmm.
there is stuff that's going to come up. And and it's really good to let it come up and to clear it because we do begin again to question ourselves, like how can I ask for more? And especially I think as women, we and maybe it's just we do what we do because we have very caring hearts
I
and
think
we
I, th-
are
I think that's it. I really, because again, to me, it's never been about the money, but I know people can pay it, so why not get it? Because I was told the more money I get, the more I can do with other people too. I can pay
yes,
it forward. So, asking and things. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
that's
yeah, asking, and even the last one you said when the she had being in a different space when she put out the ad to promote the event, she
yes,
asked, so asking. And I think that even goes into, I'm not a religious, spiritual, whatever. I believe in God, but even as ask and you will receive. I
yes,
know that comes from the Bible someplace. Ask and you will receive.
yes,
So it goes back to, like you said, trauma, something happened. We're not supposed to ask, you know what I mean? Something happened when we were growing up or something like that. Why are you asking? Whatever it is, whatever the voices are that's going in the head, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which that's very, very cool,
Yes. We do, as I said, we really have very caring hearts, and we're concerned about the people that we work with. We're concerned that they have enough money. We are concerned that they will get value from what we do. And we feel a lot of responsibility, and we leave ourselves out of the equation. We forget about, or we forget about our needs, or we don't think that our needs are as important. And that is something that we need to learn, and again, to trust that the right people are going to be working with you, and that they are going to be very happy to pay you. And for example, I know a particular coach. It costs $100,000 to work with him for a day.
Oh my God.
He has no trouble. And what happens is he's connecting with people who can pay him that, and who really feel like, I'm going to get something from this man that is really going to move my business to a new level.
Right. You tend to get back what you put in.
Yes. Yeah. And people they are investing in themselves. And I think that it's true that we do need to learn how to present ourselves and how to communicate in a way that people can understand what it is that they will get from working with us.
Mm-hmm. Which I think you're very good at. I could be contracted, I can be squirrely, and we get into a conversation and talking with Elizabeth, all of a sudden I'm like, it's just, you just have that soothing voice and a lot of good insight. Do you have any programs coming up, or how would somebody get in touch with you if they wanted to have more information about how to get over their blocks with money?
Yes. They can contact me by emailing me at elizabethbone.coach@gmail.com for a free 40-minute session in which we will uncover the roots of their hidden blocks, and they can get to see what really is possible for them.
I'm writing in over here. I'm not ignoring you. I'm on Facebook.
Okay. And I have coaching programs. I have one program that is a 4-month program, and it has 16 sessions in it. And there are 4 shifts. The first shift is a healing shift. The second shift is belief and possibility. The third shift is empowerment. And the fourth shift is action and accountability. It is my commitment to help people achieve their goals. That setting a goal and being able to achieve it is
Very cool.
Yes, that is the intention of my coaching program.
Now these are also on your, do you have a website up? Are you working on your website?
Yes,
or is it Facebook? Do you have a Facebook page?
I do have a Facebook page. You can find me by going on Facebook and looking for Elizabeth Bone Coaching.
Okay. Great. Okay, cool. So basically, to get in touch with Elizabeth to find out a little bit more, if this spurred any curiosity about how to remove the blocks, or even, if you think you might have a block, I have to tell you, you do. Because people without blocks don't think about it. It's like with anything else. If you think you need to lose weight, then you do. If you think you need to, make an amends, then you do. If you're thinking about it, you usually have to do it. That's pretty much one of those signs that we have. So reach out to Elizabeth. I have this on Facebook right now, where you can reach out to her for a free 40-minute session. You can reach out to Elizabeth at Elizabeth Bone, is it at Gmail, and then also you can find her on Facebook in Elizabeth Bone Coaching, correct?
It's elizabethbone.coach@gmail.com.
Elizabeth, correction.
Yes.
Elizabeth dot bone, Elizabeth Bone
Elizabethbone.coach
dot
at
coach
gmail.
at Gmail. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And is there anything else that you'd like to say or share with us at this time?
What I would like to say is a clue to your hidden blocks is looking at what is happening in your reality. If you're looking at your savings account and you don't have very much in it, or if your debt, the amount of debt you carry, would cancel out your savings. If you're looking at your income and you're saying it's not enough, yes, you have some blocks to money. And I really would love for people to go from struggle to ease with money.
That's cool. Go from struggle to ease with money. Struggle
Yes.
to ease with money. And again, this is going to be posted I have a Facebook group called Let's Talk Health. Let's do health. Let's talk and do health, because this does come under health. Like we said, if you're stressing over money, lack of money, and things like that, that does affect our physical.
Yes.
I usually start my talks off by saying that I'm a firm believer of what we put in our body, on our body, what we say, and what we think greatly affects our health. So again, like Elizabeth just said, that if you're looking at your bank account, or don't have a bank account and want one, this is, and I have to reiterate or repeat that this is the first time in 65 years that I have a savings account. Okay, which
Wow.
again, and that's after working with Elizabeth, because I'm used to working with commission sales, because my background being in real estate, and then the company I'm with now, again, we get paid monthly, so I've never really been concerned about, and I've always really realized that God took care of me. Yet when you turn 65, you start to realize, oh my goodness, I don't have the energy I used to have to work full time, or I don't want to. That's why they call it retirement. So don't be like me and wait until retirement to find the money. If you're younger and looking at it, please definitely get in touch with Elizabeth, or you can get in touch with me. I'll definitely put you in touch with Elizabeth. And it there's no need to be going through stress right now. We have enough people to reach out to, and I'm sure we can find somebody that's going to make you sleep much better at night. Okay.
Yes.
So again, thank you for reaching out. Once again, it's elizabethbone.coaching@gmail. And you can get Elizabeth Bone Coaching, find her on Facebook also. So free 40-minute. That's a pretty good conversation there. Free to find out whether it can help or not. That's a big gift you're giving. Free 40-minute.
It is. It is. And you really will see the roots of what is stopping you.
Cool. So hurry up, because I'm sure your calendar is going to fill up. So with that, I'd
Yes.
like to say thank you all for joining, and I'm going to sign off. I'm going to end it.